الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآل الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن رحمتك. Alhamdulillah, so far we have been able to study self-purification and the whole idea of how to improve ourselves. Then we started mentioning some of the qualities that we should achieve. First we said taqwa is a fundamental quality, and then we started talking about some virtues which of course taqwa embrace all of them. So we talked about some virtues or qualities that every person should be equipped with, like gratefulness, like humbleness, like patience, being rational, being thirsty for learning, suppression of anger, being not jealous, avoiding suspicion, avoiding pessimism. Now we want to focus more on social qualities, those virtues and values that in social life are very needed. Again, I want to mention something that is very fundamental and perhaps can bring other good social virtues, and then inshallah after that we talk about separate qualities. And that is husnul khulq. Husnul khulq. What does husnul khulq mean? Means, if you want to translate literally, it means good character. Some people say good-naturedness. It means to treat people with love and courtesy. Okay? We have many hadiths about husnul khulq. And opposite to husnul khulq is su'ul khulq. Someone has bad temper. Someone who is, offending people, breaking the heart of people, is harsh, is aggressive, arrogant, this type of thing. These are su'ul khulq. So, about husnul khulq, we have many hadiths, and I want to mention only some of them, inshallah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, before I come to this, what Rasulullah said, I mentioned something from Imam Baqir alayhi salam. Imam Baqir alayhi salam said, "Inna akmal al-mu'minin imanan." The most perfect believers in their faith, the best believers in their faith, akmal al-mu'minin imanan, ahsanuhum khulqan, are those who are better in their akhlaq, in their character, the way that they treat people. إن أكمل المؤمنين إيمانا أحسنهم خلقا. So if you want to be who is a better mu'min, see who is better in dealing with people. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, ما يوضع في ميزان امرئ يوم القيامة أفضل من حسن الخلق. It's very special. On the day of judgment, nothing will be put in mizan, in the balance, in the scale. Mizan is by which Allah weighs our good actions. And mizan is not like, the scale which has two sides. Mizan has only one way, of weighing things. Because either you have hasana, then it goes down. Or you don't have hasana, it remains top. In other words, bad things don't have weight. Good things have weight. This is why Allah says, "Man thaqulat mawazinuhu, fahuwa fi ishatin radiyah, man khaffat mawazinuhu." So, like either you have gold by which you can weigh it, or you don't have anything. You have wasted your capital. In any way, on the day of judgment, when they want to weigh and they put, your good things, okay, nothing is put for mu'min like husnul khulq. The best thing that can give you weight on your balance, on your scale, is husnul khulq. ما يوضع في ميزان امرئ يوم القيامة أفضل من حسن الخلق. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam also said, "Inna sahib al-khulq al-hasan," the one who has this good temper, good nature, lahu mithlu ajr as-sa'im al-qa'im. His reward is the reward of the person who is fasting, all the time fasting, and qa'im, all the nights he wakes us up for tahajjud. Okay? Sa'im al-qa'im. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, and this hadith also is a hadith that relates to other subjects we discussed. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, "Arba'un man kunna fih shamula imanuh." There are four things. Whoever has these four things, his iman is complete. وَإِنْ كَانَ مِنْ قَرْنِهِ إِلَىٰ قَدَمِهِ ذُنُوبًا لَمْ يَنْقُصْهُ ذَلِكَ. I hope some people don't hear this hadith. Even if from his head up to his feet he has sins, it's not going to harm him. But for sure, such people would not commit sins. It's just to explain. So, there are four things that if you have, your iman is complete, and even if you have sins from top to the feet, it's not going to harm. What are those four things? As-sidq, truthfulness. Wa-ada'ul amana, to be trustworthy. Wal-haya. What is haya? Some people say shyness, some people say shame, but shame not in a bad way. For example, when you say, "Don't you feel shame?" means haya, or shyness, kind of positive, shyness, yes.
Humility.
Pardon? Humility? No, it's different. Chastity is related, but chastity is effort. Haya is a kind of, you feel shy to do bad things.
Modesty.
Modesty is related, but not exactly. Some people say shame. Not shame in the bad sense, shame in the good sense.
Respect.
Respect is different from haya.
We say sharma.
Yeah, sham. It's like shame. Sham. Yeah. But in a positive way. Haya. And we have two haya. Haya dinen wa haya humqin. Some types of haya is bad. For example, a person doesn't know and feels embarrassed to ask. This is not good haya. Yeah? But a person feels embarrassed to do bad things. Or a woman should have haya, not to appear in front of mahram, laughing and joking. This is good haya. So we have good haya, we have bad haya. وَحُسْنُ الْخُلْقِ. So 4 things that if you have, your face is complete. Sidq, truthfulness. Ada'ul amana, delivering the trust. Haya, husnul khulq. If you have these 4, your iman is complete and no sin would harm you. But as I told you, the people who have these 4, they don't commit sins.
So husnul khul is good.
Pardon?
Husnul khul.
Husnul khul.
How do you translate that?
Good naturedness, good character. In the sense that, you are a person that people are very happy with you, comfortable with you. You don't offend them, you don't, harass them, you don't, get angry with them. There are people who have husn khul. You travel with them, you are, always...
Good qualities. Good qualities.
Good qualities, very general.
Welcoming tongue.
There's
welcoming
tongue.
Tongue.
Speech.
It's not only a speech.
Everything.
Because sometimes people, by their eyes, harm you. They look at you and, you feel bad, you feel terrible. Sometimes people, by silence, make you annoyed. So, husnul khulq means he has very good temper, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam quotes Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, "Aktharu ma talaju bihi ummati al-jannah." Most of my ummah go to heaven because of 2 things, or 2 things by which most of my ummah go to Jannah. Taqwallah wa husnul khulq. One is taqwa, one is husnul khulq. Sometimes people have both. Sometimes people have one of them. You can have a kafir who has husnul khulq. Yeah, inshallah, I will mention some hadith. He doesn't have faith, but he's husnul khulq. He's a person who is nice, kind. Sometimes you have muttaqi who has su'ul khulq. You know the story of that companion of the Prophet, that when he died in Medina, Rasulullah himself buried him and said prayer. Rasulullah said the angels have taken part in his funeral. And his mother said, you are very blessed because of seeing all these things. So you are very blessed that you are going to heaven. So Rasulullah said he has, pressure in grave because he had bad akhlaq in home. So angels have come to his funeral. He's a companion of the Prophet, has said prayer over him, but still he has to suffer because he has, broken the heart of people. He has, mistreated people. This has to be compensated. So, you can be a religious person, a pious person, and lack husnul khulq. You should have both. But not necessarily people have both. Another hadith is, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to his servant because of husnul khulq the reward that he gives to the one who is mujahid fi sabilillah. The reward of mujahid, the one who does jihad, Allah gives to the people who have, because husnul khulq is not easy. Sometimes people say things to you that you might get angry, but you are always trying to be nice. You know, the lady Salama asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Maybe she was asking about herself, because she was married before and then married Rasulullah. So she said to Rasulullah, "Abi anta wa ummi." May my father and mother be your ransom. Al-mar'atu yakunu laha zawjan. If a woman has two husbands, of course not at the same time, means she had a husband, then he died or divorced, anyway. فَيَمُوتُونَ. Then all have died. The woman has died, two husbands have died. وَيَدْخُلُونَ الْجَنَّةِ. Now all the three are in heaven. So, who would be her husband? The first or the second? Then Rasulullah said, Ya Salama, تَخَيَّرُوا أَحْسَنَهُمَا خَلْقًا وَخَيْرَهُمَا لِأَهْلِهِ. That woman will choose the one who had better akhlaq for her. She decides which one was better with her, so she chooses that one to be her husband. Then the Prophet said, إن حسن الخلق ذهب يا إن حسن الخلق ذهب بخير الدنيا والآخرة. The one who has good akhlaq takes with him all the good of dunya and akhirah. This hadith is also very good. You know, I told you sometimes kuffar have good akhlaq. This hadith, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, once they brought some captive of the war to the Prophet. They were people who were fighting up to the end, you know, anyway, they deserved punishment. But Rasulullah didn't punish one of them. Only one of them was treated differently. So that person said to the Prophet, Ya Muhammad, كَيْفَ أَطْلَقْتَ عَنِّي مِنْ بَيْنِهِمْ. Why you only released me? Why you freed me? The Prophet said, أَخْبَرَنِي جِبْرَائِيل عَنِ اللَّهَ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through Jibreel informed me that you have 5 qualities. أَنَّ فِيكَ خَمْسَ خِصَالٍ. You have 5 qualities. يُحِبُّهُ اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ وَرَسُولُهُ. That Allah and His Messenger love them. So these qualities, even if they are in kuffar, they are appreciated. 1. الغيرة الشديدة على حرمك. You are very, again, غيرة is something difficult to translate. You know, like some people say, jealous with respect to your family. It means you don't want, you know, a stranger man, you know, for example, to, you know, pardon?
Like protector.
Yes. Sometimes we say protective jealousy, you know, something like this. Second, as-sakha. This person is a kafir who was killing Rasulullah and Muslims, yeah? A few minutes ago. But he is released. Why? Because he's generous. وَحُسْنُ الْخُلْقِ. You have good temper. وَصِدْقُ اللِّسَانِ. You are truthful. وَالشَّجَاعَةِ. You are brave. It's amazing. Bravery even of the kafir is appreciated. You see? Generosity of a fighter against Islam is appreciated. فَلَمَّا سَمِعَهَا الرَّجُلُ. When this person heard this,
So what was the 4th quality?
one was Sidqul Lisan, and the last one was Shaja'a, bravery. فَلَمَّا سَمِعَهَا, when he heard this from Rasulullah, he heard that Rasulullah released him because of these qualities. أَسْلَمَ وَحَسُنَ إِسْلَامُهُ, he embraced Islam and he was a very good Muslim. وَقَاتَلَ مَعَ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ قِتَالًا شَدِيدًا حَتَّى اسْتُشْهِدَ, then he took part in some of the battles and finally he was martyred. So imagine, good akhlaq saved him in dunya and akhirah, and also good akhlaq of the Prophet saved him. If Prophet was harsh, he was not saved. In another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Inna ahabbakum ilayya wa aqrabakum minni yawm al-qiyamah majlisa." Those among you that I love the most and they will be closest to me on the day of judgment, ahsanukum khulqan wa ashaddukum tawadu'an. Those who are better in their akhlaq and more humble. Humble. We have many hadiths about this, so I hope inshallah Allah gives us this determination inshallah to have good akhlaq. It's something, although it's difficult, but still it's not that difficult. If you want to fast all the day, wake up every night for tahajjud, long hours, do jihad, it's not easy. But this hadith said with husnul khulq you will get all these things. So husnul khulq is very important. So if you work in an office, if you are a student, if you are a professor, you have colleagues, you have, friends, everyone should say, this person's akhlaq is very good. I wish to share room with him, with her, if I'm going to share. I love to speak to this person. I want to work with this person because he has very good akhlaq. So in this way then we can be hopeful that we are good Muslims. Look at this beautiful hadith. A person went to Rasulullah from front. He said, Ya Rasulullah, mad-din. He said, Oh Rasulullah, what is religion? Rasulullah said, husnul khulq. Then he came from right side. He said, mad-din. Rasulullah said, husnul khulq. Then he came from the left side. When Shomali, faqala mad-din. The Prophet said, husnul khulq. Then he went and from behind asked mad-din. Rasulullah turned his face back and said, Ama tafqa, don't you understand? How many times I should tell you? Ad-din, huwa Allah taqdhim. Deen is not to get angry. This is religion. Okay, so this is very important quality. Another quality which is very important, and alhamdulillah we have already discussed this, is amana, is delivery of the trust. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, chapter 70, verses, there are many verses about mu'mineen, but in particular verse 32, chapter 70, Surah Ma'arij, verse 32. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لَأَمَانَاتِهِمْ وَعَهْدِهِمْ رَاعُونَ. Allah praises believers because they are faithful to their trust and their covenant. So, if they are entrusted, they give back. If they promise, they keep the promise. This is another quality. Fulfilling one's promise. So mu'min is delivering the trust and fulfills his promise. If you promise to do something, you should keep your promise. Even if you promise your child. Don't say, oh, he's just 3 years old, 4 years old, he will forget. You should keep your promise. The hadith says, أَحِبُّ السَّبْيَانِ وَارْحَمُوهُمْ وَإِذَا وَعَدْتُمُوهُمْ فَفُوا لَهُمْ. Love your children and show mercy to them. And when you promise them, keep your promise. If you promise to, I don't know, take him somewhere, to buy something, to speak to him, to do something, you should keep your promise. Some, I think, unfortunately, if I can say, at least some of us have this bad habit, that we promise and then we fail to keep our promise. When it comes to promising, we are very quick. Quickly we promise. I will do this for you, I will do that, I will take this responsibility. And then, either I forget or I find that I am not able to do it. And therefore, people, will be disappointed. You don't have to promise. It's better to promise to help people, but you don't have to promise. But if you promise, you have to keep it. Yeah? It's like salam and jawab salam, the reply to salam. If you say salam, it's mustahab, but jawab, reply, is wajib. To promise is not wajib. But to keep promise is necessary. Maybe sometime even it's, or maybe most of the time it's wajib. So it's very important that we think, and if we are really able and willing to do something, we promise. So it's very important to keep our promise. Another thing is pardon, to forgive. Mu'min is the one that when people do something wrong to him, he would forgive them. Af is very important. Allah says to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Fa'fu anhum wastaghfir lahum." Forgive them and ask me to forgive them. Yeah, fa'fu anhum wastaghfir lahum. It's very important to forgive. Many verses of the Quran, for example, verse 135 of chapter 3. We just read this. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. عَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ, those who forgive. Verse 22 of chapter 24. Chapter 24, which is Surah Nur, verse 22. In this end of the ayah, وَلْيَعْفُوا وَلْيَصْفَحُوا أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَنْ يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. They should forgive. They should pardon. Don't you like to be forgiven? If you like to be forgiven, forgive people. If you forgive people, then you can say to Allah, "Oh Allah, I have forgiven people and I am a very weak person. I am a needy person. Still I've forgiven them. You are not needy. You are not harmed. So please forgive me." وَلْيَعْفُوا وَلْيَصْفَحُوا أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَنْ يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. I want to make 2 points. One is that when you forgive someone, please also forget. Sometimes people forgive, but till end of their life they remember. He did this to me. She did this to me. I've forgiven him, but still the pain is there. This is not good. Try to forgive and forget. Okay? The second thing is that the only time that there can be exception to forgiving is, or one of the exceptional times, I'm not saying the only time, is when something is being done systematically. You know, if there is a person who all the time is, wronging me and hurting me, and even if I forgive him, the same time he does the same thing, or maybe he does more. Here, you should stop this. You should try to solve the problem. Sometimes the person doesn't understand, mistakenly, unknowingly wrongs you. Or, gets angry, then later says, please, forgive me. Once, twice. But if something is systematic, deliberate, all the time, this person, then you should find a way to solve this problem. Or when someone is wronging other people, I cannot forgive them. For example, someone is wronging my neighbor. I cannot forgive him, say, okay, everything is all right. If someone is wronging another nation, I say, we forgive you. Who are you to forgive? This is not your right to forgive them. This is the right of those people, not the right of you. We cannot say, okay, we are international community, we ask all of you to forgive each other, nothing has happened, No, this is the right of those people. We should try to bring peace, but you don't have right to forgive anyone on behalf of the oppressed people, on behalf of the wronged people. So, the general principle in Islam is to forgive, but there are some exceptions. One is that when you forgive, the person commits again and again, even sometimes he dares more. Another is when that person has done something wrong to another person. The same with wronging another person is if someone has committed a sin. So it's haqqullah. For example, if my child or I don't know, someone commits sins, I cannot say, I have forgiven you. I can't forgive the wrong which he has done to me. I cannot forgive, the salat that he has not said, the fasting or the hijab that he has not observed, I don't know, the alcohol he has drunk. I cannot forgive this. This is not up to me to forgive. Even Rasulullah didn't have the right to forgive people. It's very interesting. In some religious traditions, you go and you confess and the priest forgives you. In Islam, even Rasulullah cannot forgive. Only Allah can forgive. Rasulullah can pray for you. Rasulullah can do istighfar for you. وَلَوْ أَنَّهُمْ إِذْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ جَاءُوكَ. When they have done injustice to themselves, they come to you. And istaghfarullah. They ask forgiveness. وَاسْتَغْفَرَ لَهُمُ الرَّسُولُ. And Rasul asked forgiveness from God for them. لَبَجَدُ اللَّهِ تَقْوَى. They will find Allah's forgiveness. Rasulullah cannot forgive. Rasulullah does istighfar. فَعَفُ عَنْهُمْ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ. فَعَفُ عَنْهُمْ means forgive the wrong that they have done to you. وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ means ask Allah to forgive حَقُّ النَّاسِ, the bad thing that they have done against Allah's will. So there are two sides. So, if a person has committed sin, we cannot forgive him. But this doesn't mean that you are harsh. Of course, you have to find, a very balanced way to respond. This is a very delicate issue. What should be our approach to people who commit sins? Maybe we need to discuss this in one session. Should we say, don't worry? So if we say don't worry, then that person may commit sin again. Should we fight? Maybe if we fight, then this person totally breaks his relation. This is something that doesn't have one simple answer. It depends. You have to be very clever to find out which way works better for keeping that person close to religion, close to Muslim community, without encouraging him or encourage other people to do the same thing. It's a very complicated issue. Sometimes people say, okay, these are people who have this problem, we should, bring them close. But then other people start doing the same thing because they say, no matter what we do, still everyone is supportive. It's a very delicate issue. So we don't have the right to forgive people who have wronged others or who have disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But as far as it is our right, and as far as it is not systematic and deliberate, and it's not making that person worse, we should forgive. The other thing is to be serving people, to be merciful, to be charitable, to be helpful. You know this verse about Prophet Isa alayhi salam, Surah Maryam, chapter 19, verse 31. Prophet Isa, just when he was a newborn baby, one of the things he said, وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُ. Allah made me blessed or a source of blessing wherever I am. Okay? Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, Mubarakan means that Allah made me very useful for people, beneficial, nafa'an, means people can benefit from it. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah loves the servant, Allah loves most the servants who benefit other servants most. If you serve other people, Allah loves you more. Look at this beautiful hadith. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, there are some servants of God to whom people resort in needs. Okay? There are people that everyone who has problem goes to them. They will be safe from the punishment on the day of resurrection. They have been a sort of refuge for people, so Allah will give them refuge on the day of judgment. We have many hadiths about qada'u hajatil mu'min. If you can help mu'mineen, with a request, there is great reward promised for that. Okay, so we stop here. Inshallah, we continue tomorrow with the rest of the qualities, and then we move tomorrow, inshallah, to the behavioral system. What is the code of behavior that we should observe? وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.